Hey everybody, this is your girl Melissa J, also known as your favorite blind auntie. So today I want to talk about something personal. I want to talk about the moment people started treating me differently after they found out that I was blind. And what's interesting is I didn't suddenly become blind that day I told everybody. I was already legally blind at that point. I had already been told that I was supposed to surrender my driver's license, but at that time I wasn't ready to accept what was happening to me. So I continued to drive, and I know that's not right. And because I was still driving, still getting around, still doing the things everybody was used to seeing me do, nobody knew what I was dealing with. Now, I didn't immediately tell my family. It was probably 2 or 3 years before I finally told them that I was losing my vision. And when I told them, they were shocked. Some of them couldn't believe it. It was basically, blind? How are you blind? And you're still driving. And I understood why they were confused because people have this picture in their heads of what blindness is supposed to look like. They think if you're blind, you can't see nothing at all. But blindness doesn't always work in that way. I could still do certain things. I could still navigate familiar places, even when I was driving and I was supposed to. I could still look at you. I could still do things that people didn't expect a blind person to be able to do. But none of that changed my diagnosis. Oh, and by the way, my diagnosis is retinitis pigmentosa. Now I know I have Usher's 2A, but let's get into it. Once people knew I was blind, I started noticing something. They started treating me differently. And that's support nobody prepared me for. Shit, nobody prepared me for nothing, but whatever. Suddenly, I had people questioning whether I was really blind. If I did something independently, it was like, I thought you said you were blind. If I could see something, people would question it. If I navigated somewhere on my own, people questioned it. It felt like I constantly had to prove my blindness. And think about it. How crazy is that? You are already trying to process losing your vision, and now you got to convince everybody else that you're actually losing it. Your sight, I mean. So let's talk about the white cane, because if you've been following me, you know it took me a long time and a couple of falls, broken bones before I started using my white cane. So then I started using my white cane, and that's what, when blindness became something people couldn't actually see when they looked at me. Before the cane, somebody could look at me and probably never know I was blind. But once that cane came out, honey, there was no hiding it anymore. And I started noticing another change. Sometimes I wasn't invited places anymore. Sometimes people assumed I couldn't participate. Sometimes people acted like taking me somewhere would be more work. And nobody necessarily came right out and said it. I'm not inviting you because you're blind. Sometimes it's much quieter than that. You just could notice that the invitations stopped coming. You notice people making plans around you instead of with you. You notice people deciding what you can and can't do without ever even asking you. And I'm gonna be honest, that hurts. This is something I would like sighted people to understand. When somebody becomes blind, they are still the same person. I didn't stop liking to go places. I didn't stop wanting to have fun, honey. I didn't want to stop friendships. I didn't want to stop wanting a relationship. I didn't stop wanting to travel, shop, laugh, go out, get dressed, make memories, and experience life. I lost vision. I didn't lose my personality. See, that's what people get mistaken. And if you didn't know how to include a blind person, all you have to do is ask him. Don't decide for them. Don't assume she probably can't do this. Ask, do you want to come? Let that person decide what's accessible to them and what makes them comfortable doing. And this is what I want to say to other blind people. If you have experienced this, I want you to know and I want you to understand. There's a strange transition that happens when you start using a white cane. For me, that cane represented something I hadn't completely accepted yet. Shit, I still have a hard time, but don't tell nobody. But eventually, I had to understand something. The cane wasn't taking my independence away. It was helping me get some of it back. And this is something I'm still dealing with. I shouldn't have to hide my cane just to make somebody else comfortable. Now, I want to hear from y'all. If you're blind, visually impaired, disabled, or ever experienced something similar, did people start treating you differently once you find out about your disability? And I have another question for you. Have you ever stopped telling people about your disability because you were afraid they'll treat you differently? Because I think that is a conversation we might need to have. Losing my vision changed my life. But one of the biggest things I had to learn wasn't just how to navigate the world without sight. I had to learn how to navigate people's perception of me. I'm still Melissa. I'm still independent. I'm still outspoken. I'm still going places. I'm still living my life. The cane didn't just change who I was. It made something I had already been living with visible to everyone else, my blindness. And if somebody sees my blindness before they see me, that's something they have to work on. Because I'm not asking anybody to feel sorry for me. I'm asking to be included. I'm asking to be respected. And most importantly, I'm asking people to stop deciding what blind people are capable of before they ever give us the opportunity to show them. If you have stayed the whole video, I appreciate it. Please like, share, comment. Please share because this might can help somebody else out that just don't have the voice to express it. This is your girl, Melissa J, and I am out. I'm going to give a visual description of myself for my low and blind audience. I'm going to start doing this at the end of my videos. I have a white Nike hat on with a check mark, I think right here at the top. I have a black sweater on. Yes, I'm inside though. And it's off both of my shoulders. It's black. And it has, I think, a white and a red like a heart on it. But yeah, and I have some comfortable shorts. They're like basketball shorts. They're all black and I have on some black Crocs that nobody can see. And I have me some black gauges on because I know your girl got stretched earlobes. And I have a little jewelry on today. and some light makeup, and I have, baby, my extra lashes on today. So I'm blinking. But yeah.